have a question for you. I
Yeah.
think we're all going to place a bet.
Yeah.
What was Jeremy doing off camera? Because we all took a guess.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what you were doing?
Here, the interview should begin because this is important stuff.
Okay.
The funniest thing about this exchange is if people actually knew me, they would be so bored. It would be. I mean, it would be insanity. I was making coffee. You guys are thinking, oh, he's out there doing massive amounts of pure Bolivian cocaine in his hot tub, and
what the hell's going on?
yeah, I know. Listen, everyone loves a good story, right? That's how you guys. That's how you thrive and survive.
Well, you cleared the air. Jeremy Piven lives the wash life just like us.
Yes. Name of this segment is Just Like Us.
Just like us.
Just like us. Celebrities are just like us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, first of all, my name is Dana Cortez. Welcome.
I'm DJ.
Thank you.
I go by Anthony A.
And we're so excited to talk to you. You have a lot going on between the coffee breaks and all that.
Yes.
You got a new feature film coming out, Crabs in a Bucket, but you've done
Actually, what's so funny is that is a very strange title, but it's now called Last Call, and it's out on IFC and theaters and everything in a month. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah,
that's good information.
Yes, it is, and the trailer drops on people.com today, if you can believe it.
Hey, we'll have to watch that.
So we're gonna go watch that. Now, you've been doing this for a very long time. Your career,
yes,
one of the greatest, I think, I mean, the dream, right? You've lived the dream. Literally had some of the best roles. Who's your favorite role from the beginning to now? Who's the person that you're like, this was the funnest time I ever had playing that part?
That's first of all, it's a great question. Thank you. Believe it or not, it's a movie that hasn't come out. The best time, well, of course, I had an incredible time on Entourage, and that role is a culmination of all everything I've ever. I'm a stage actor from Chicago. I could bore you to tears with my process, and I will. Let's get into it. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, Ari Gold, I was playing this kind of like lunatic Hollywood agent, very kind of aggressive and reactive, and that basically was a style that I was working in called Commedia dell'arte, where you do everything over the top, but it's rooted in sincerity. But anyway, that's the part where people start literally changing the channel. And I had a lot of fun, but it was a lot of work in the best way. That's why they call it work. Because I had 4-page monologues, and it's my job to get it letter perfect. So that, my job is to make it look like I'm having the time of my life, and I am. But at the same time, it's work. Now, the best time I had on set was with Jamie Foxx in a movie called All-Star Weekend. And Jamie's been editing it for a number of years, and we need to pull it out of his brilliant hands.
I did not know that this movie even existed. How long?
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, when can we look forward to? Is it ever coming out? Or what? Yeah.
Do I sound bitter? Because I am.
A little bitter, yeah. So you don't know when it's coming. You have no idea.
Well,
I mean, every time I check in, they go, yeah, it's going to be released on the 12th of Never. We're checking the schedule now. Yeah, it's locked in for the 12th. No, listen, the cast is incredible. Jamie is probably the most talented guy I've ever worked with in my life. Whoa. And we both love comedy and drama, and he's a musician, and it just goes on and on and on. And the movie is hysterical. He plays a guy that's obsessed with LeBron. I'm obsessed with Steph Curry. Let's go, right?
Oh my God.
I'm already loving the premise. Yes.
We literally had a conversation about Jamie Foxx. I think it was yesterday, because I said, is there anybody else who can do what he does in today's world? I mean, the man acts, he sings, he writes, he plays instruments. I mean,
yeah.
Is he the Frank Sinatra, the Sammy Davis, all of that in today's world, all rolled up in one?
He is. He's a one-man Rat Pack. That's a great call. But I got to be in his Rat Pack when I filmed and played opposite him in All-Star Weekend, and it was the time of my life, because I'm just stupid enough to think that I can go toe-to-toe with him. and it was great. I had an incredible time, and I'm actually coming to your town. I don't know if you know this, but I've been doing a stand-up comedy tour. You see that transition, kids? Beautiful.
I did transition. So obviously, I've known you were an actor for many, many years, but I did not know you did stand-up comedy.
That's gotta be hard.
Me, I didn't know it either. But we sure are going to find out at Laugh Out Loud San Antonio, aren't we?
We are going to find that out.
So how long have you been doing stand-up, and do you find that it's more challenging than even acting?
You know, it's interesting. Obviously, it's more challenging in the writing department because it's all coming from you. You know, speaking of a one-man rap pack, you have to be a one-man band, and you're up there. You're writing, directing, producing, starring. You're everything, and I love it because I'm an improvisational actor. I've been, you know, from Chicago. I started in a group called Second City. So from an improv group, and that's part of my background. And now this is the same engine, but a different gear. So I've been doing stand up, you know, listen, I've only been doing it. I've been dabbling for a decade. And, you know, the past few years, I've been doing about 250 shows a year, just grinding 5 to 8 shows a year. Obviously COVID has slowed it down, but I love it. And I'm having the time of my life. And for me to make a room laugh for an hour myself is an honor. And the strangest comments I've been getting is, I had no idea you were this funny. And I'm thinking, where have I been? What have you been doing? Have you been in a cave in Kabul? I'm 200 years old. I've been around forever.
No, but I got to push back. I think the reason might be, I think your most famous role is Ari Gold, right? That's the
which
one
was hilarious.
Which is hilarious, but in a very dark way. The way you describe whatever it is, you know, in your fancy terminology you were doing, Ari had this essence about him that was definitely sincere, but it was angry, and it was all these things wrapped in one. So maybe even though we were laughing, we didn't find it funny. I don't know how to explain it. So now you're in a room in front of people. Is it more difficult than acting? Is it harder to make people laugh? You're right there in the moment, or is it easier?
You know, it's a great question. It's hard to compare them because I was taking the brilliant writing of Doug Ellen on Entourage and making it feel improvisational at all moments, and that's why people thought I was improvising. And that's my job, and that's what you do. I've been doing that since I was 8 years old, so many, many decades. Now on stage, I'm doing all the writing and performing it. So, you know, it's more time consuming to write it all, workshop it, and put it out there. So it's hard to compare the two. But in terms of Entourage, whether or not you knew it was a comedy, I have a shelf full of Emmys that say, you know, that it's in the comedy department. So yeah. I'm not quite sure. I as far as I know, I don't think they're participation trophies. I am so bitter. I'm sorry.
I got a question on that one too.
I don't know if it's a comedy.
I don't know. Is it a comedy or not? So dramatic.
In regards to
I am.
Was that, you said your job was to make it seem like it's improv? Was any of it improv, or is every line you said in that everything was word for word on the script?
Every line is scripted by Doug Ellen. They have a brilliant podcast called Victory, and they're going to get rich once again without me. God, am I bitter? What's happening? No, I love them, and they're incredible. And I just did their podcast, and it was one of the greatest times I've ever had. But Doug Ellen wrote every word, and as you can see, they post a lot, and you see every word is written. And I love to improvise, and you know, I'm just kind of from a different school than Doug, because Doug is all about the written word, and I think we collaborated beautifully together. You know, every once in a while he would let something slip in, like I said, "Let's hug it out, bitch." That was an improv, and that became a catchphrase. You know, stuff like that. Every once in a while, I was always trying to slip in my stuff, and every once in a while I'd get it in.
Well, congratulations on
that. Didn't sound right, I know.
It sounded very Ari Gold, is what it sounded like. Congratulations on your continued success. You said you've been doing this since age 8. I mean, it really is so incredible, but you deserve it. You're just one of our favorites in this world.
Thank you. Does that mean you're going to come to Laugh Out Loud and get you guys out of the house?
I'll disclose something. We're nationally syndicated. We're not in San Antonio, but we are.
What?
Yeah,
I know. So when you said that, I was like, our show is in San Antonio, but it's syndicated from Phoenix, Arizona. So you're coming to the so it all works out.
So we'll
man.
be there in April, and I'm gonna see you a little bit this weekend too.
Yeah.
We'll be
Let's
there.
do it. This weekend, I'm in the Laugh Out Loud San Antonio from 24th through the 26th.
Yeah.
Doing five shows. We're gonna have a blast.
26th to 28th. I got you.
Yeah, but he
Sorry, 26th to the 28th. Thank you. I stand corrected.
what? Motherfucker, he don't need to know the date. He just shows up.
I got a question
You
about one
swear?
of the recent roles that's really interesting to me. Is you're the co-host of the Hot Box Show with Mike Tyson, the podcast on that, man. How did that come about, and what's your relationship with you and Mike Tyson? You guys seem like you guys are really been friends for a while.
You know, Mike and I initially met when the producers of Entourage called me and said, "Can you meet at the offices to meet up with Mike Tyson about doing a guest spot?" It flew over there. I'm such a huge fan, and we had a great time together, and we connected, and we've seen each other over the years. I've seen his one-man show many times, and he's just one of the. I don't know how you can get any more real than Mike Tyson. You know, you're going to spend 5 minutes with him. You're going to get a sense of who he is, literally. And I'm just fascinated by the guy. I love him, and we've been having a great time doing this podcast together. And the reason why I'm in my podcast room, there's a strange picture of myself. It's Ari Gold behind me. I apologize because I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to make this my podcast room. My podcast is called How You Live in J Piven, and it's going to drop next month.
Oh,
okay.
Okay, so we got a little early plug on. Are you going to talk about how you got started and what was your big breakout role? Because I started looking at your Wikipedia and I was
Oh
like,
my
man,
God,
this guy's
we don't
been in
got time for
everything.
all that. Yeah,
I couldn't
forever.
what was the role that made you say, hey, I'm going to do
made
this,
it.
and I actually made it?
You know, you're going to think that I'm just being self-deprecating or shy or something, but you know, I'm a stage actor from Chicago, so I always thought the brass ring is making a living as an actor. So as soon as that happened, I mean, I was making about $50 a week, doing, performing on the stages of Chicago, and I thought I made it when I started touring with Second City, which is an improv group, and you all tour in a Ram Charger minivan. And that's when I literally thought I made it. I thought, this is it, man. And you learn very quickly that no, it's just the beginning.
When did you get your first big check then?
That's a great question. My first, on camera, my first on camera job. Right out of college, I did a show called the Larry Sanders Show,
I remember.
which it's a brilliant show. It's kind of what launched original programming on HBO. And I remember I was so nervous for the audition. I ran into Gary Shandling in the bathroom, and he was putting in his contacts. Hello, I can't see you. Who is that? And the brilliant Gary Shandling. That's how I met Gary. And that was the first. Now you have to understand. I remember I was still living in a pool house while I was doing that show, and one of the writers from the show came over to visit me, and he was like, "What? You're on a TV show. Why are you living in the pool house?" And I was like, I just didn't get it, because you just think, as a stage actor, you just think, as soon as your next job is over, you'll never work again. So I guess I've always had that mentality, and for good or ill. And, speaking of Jamie Foxx, he did that brilliant Pixar movie recently called Soul. And it really hit me. It struck me, man. And, we become obsessed with certain things in this life, like what's our calling, and we put everything into it. And sometimes our ambition can get the better of us. And I feel like, I've been locked in. I tell this joke on stage. It's not actually a joke. It's just the truth. I say that, people want to know why I'm still single. And I tell them that I've been married to my work, and then my work decided to see other people. My work is currently having a relationship with anyone ethnic. No, I kid. Was that a spit take?
No.
I love it. That's what we work for.
No, because I think you mentioned the movie Soul, and through the whole thing, this guy is chasing something, and he's missing all of these wonderful experiences because it's always just this one thing. do you think you do take the time to just appreciate every moment, or are you constantly looking at the next rung on the ladder? Are you enjoying being Jeremy Piven?
This is the deepest conversation I've ever had, and I don't even know you. This is crazy. um, I think that is the question in our lives. You know, are you present? Are you being true to yourself, or are you chasing something that you think is right for you or where you should be? And as an actor, as I said, you're always looking for that next job, and I never understood the concept of taking time off, and that's why you said you were looking at my Wikipedia and you were like, I mean, it looks like I made up all those jobs. I mean, like, 87 movies, 147 TV credits, like, I just been very lucky to work. So to answer that question, I think it's never too late uh, to be totally present and to really own what's right for you and appreciate this journey. COVID's been crazy for all of us. I've gotten a chance, believe it or not, to see my mom more than ever because I had COVID. I get tested a few times a week, and so I get a chance to, not that I wasn't always close with her, but, it's things like that are just blessings, in the midst of all this madness.
Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk to us. We
Do we-
know that you're doing the stand-up comedy now 250 days a year. Once you get back to normal. Did you have one?
Yeah, I got two couple of little questions here for you. Let's talk some sports. It's gonna be a little lighter if we
Oh
can.
my
If we may.
God.
Well, no, Jeremy Piven, you're a
Jerry,
big
he's a sports guy.
you're a big
Chicago
sport Chicago
guy, yeah.
Chicago
Well, I'm
Bears
just gonna
fan.
be
Chicago,
embarrassed.
well, no, he ain't got a lot to smile about either. But Jeremy, this is a very personal thing to me, and I wanted to ask you this question. I had a friend who was I'm an Oakland Raider or Las Vegas Raider fan. I had a friend who recently moved to Chicago, and he was a Raider fan. But the moment he moved to Chicago, he became a Bears fan. Now that the Raiders are looking a little bit more prosperous, he wants to become a Raider fan. Is it okay to allow him back over to the Raider bandwagon, Mr. Jeremy Piven?
I think this is the type of thing that you need to be focusing on 24/7. This is really going to lead to like a healthy life. Should we allow? I think forgiveness is the most powerful thing in your life, my man, and it's going to be like a bullet. I'm proud of you. Just embrace forgiveness.
I just had to make sure that Adam felt that despair. Okay.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
One more.
No. You know what'll really do Adam's head in is if Derek Carr goes to the Bears and ends up playing quarterback for the Bears. Now he's fucked.
And the last thing I gotta ask: you worked with rappers from Kanye West. You mentioned Jamie Foxx earlier.
Common.
Common.
Yeah.
What rapper or hip hop artist do you believe has the best rapping chop or acting chops that you've worked with?
That's a great question. I would say that Common, we did Smoking Aces together, and it was his first movie. And I saw him on stage, and he's just such a powerful presence. And he, to me, reminded me, and he's also a Chicago guy, he reminded me of like a powerful stage actor. And so I told our director, Joe Carnahan, I saw, Common, Rashid is his name, and he since then has been working his butt off and so focused, and he's so humble. Even though he's a superstar in one arena, he can come to another arena and really be humble and put the work in. So to me, for my money, he's kind of the best hip hop artist turned actor out there.
All right, you heard it from Jeremy Piven. Of course, he's biased. He's from Chicago.
But I'm going to be the best actor turned rapper because I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm pretty old school. I was the guy that came up with 5:46 in the morning, crack of dawn, and now I'm yawning. Wipe the cold from my eyes. Who is this paging me and why? It's my brother Pop from the barbershop talking about the intricate plot. I digress. Thank you guys so much for your time.
We'll have to remix that for the
Wow,
show.
Yeah,
bow,
I'll
bow.
throw some.
Did
I'll
y'all
throw-
Remix!
That for you, sir.
Bring that beat back.
Jeremy Piven, thank you for taking the time. We cannot wait to see your stand-up.
Yes. Laugh Out Loud, San Antonio, 26th through the 28th.
And then Phoenix, we don't know when, but we'll find out.
I'll be there soon. Thank you, guys.
Out.
See you later, man.
Bye. Thank you.